through education. So at UBIS, we really aim to provide global education for as many students as possible like yourselves. Make sure you're well equipped with the right tools and knowledge in order to succeed and have strong careers. Now I'd like to introduce you to our campus partners and locations. As a truly global university, at UBIS, we have some very exciting international campuses and study abroad destinations. Most of you will perhaps complete your studies with us online, but we do invite you to come and visit our campuses, spend some time at our international campuses. We also host numerous events, which you will of course be invited to. So we have our Geneva campus in Switzerland, we have our Barcelona, Spain campus, and then we have our global online campus. So I'll just introduce you briefly to each campus in case you would like to spend some time there. So our Geneva campus is located 5 minutes walk from the United Nations. Geneva is a beautiful city to study in. We're actually located in the heart of the international diplomatic community in Geneva, with over 200 organizations, international organizations around us. So career-wise, this is a great place to be. Lots of international companies, multinationals headquartered out of Geneva. You've got finance, the luxury sector, sustainability becoming more and more popular out of Geneva as well. NGOs, the Red Cross, International Olympic Committee. So it's a great hub for business and of course, international relations. We're 5 minutes walk from Lac Le Mans. So in summer, there's fantastic water sports, jet skiing, kayaking. You can take the ferry over to France. So it's really a beautiful place to be. And of course, in winter, for all of you who love skiing and snowboarding, you've got the Swiss Alps, the French Alps, and the Italian Alps. If you're looking to learn some languages, you've got the French, German, and Italian influence in Switzerland. So a really nice mix of cultures as well. If you'd like to spend some time by the beach, we have our beautiful Barcelona campus. Barcelona is another very dynamic city to study in. It's actually one of the world's top study abroad destinations. You've got great Spanish cuisine, fantastic cultural and art scene, and it's a very student-oriented city. Over 179 nationalities represented in Barcelona alone. So it's a great place to be. It's also one of the most active startup scenes when it comes to the tech scene. So for all of you entrepreneurs out there, it's a great place to spend some time. And then you have our global campus, which is where many of you will complete your studies. So this online education really offers students, business professionals like yourselves, the flexibility to complete the program fully online. We know many of you have full-time jobs, busy lives, you travel a lot. So this gives you the opportunity to attend your lectures via Zoom. Everything will be recorded as well. All your coursework will be uploaded into our Moodle, our learning platform. And I must say the online campus is very, very dynamic. You've got students from all different backgrounds, different cultures, students with very exciting career backgrounds in the same classroom, sharing their expertise and their ideas. So it's a really exciting classroom to be in. Right, on the right-hand side of the screen, you've got some of our partner universities. So at UBIS, we have 17 partner universities in 14 countries worldwide, offering the UBIS programs as well. So we have partner universities in Kazakhstan, Egypt, France, the Maldives, Vietnam, the UAE, Azerbaijan, just to name a few. And I would like to give a special mention to our newest education provider partner, Classfad. So Mr. Ambrish Bansal is here with his team and many of his MBA alumni who are interested in perhaps completing a doctoral program. So to all the Classfad team and students, welcome to the UBIS family. We are delighted to have you as one of our partners and we look forward to working with you and your students. So welcome on board.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that brief introduction, let's go over today's agenda. So we will introduce you to your academic success team. So we'll introduce you to who's who will be there to support you on your journey with us. You'll have an opportunity to meet some of our current doctoral students, so your future classmates. You'll be able to ask them questions. They'll tell you about their experience on the program. And then we'll talk about what to expect as a student. We'll explain more about the program, the onboarding, student life, the resources you will have at hand, and of course, the big day, graduation. And then we'll have a Q&A session. So please, as I say, prepare your questions, pop them in the chat box. If you have any questions, raise your hand, unmute your microphone towards the end of the presentation. And then we'll get you set up with the next steps with regards to your application and your enrollment for the program. So on that note, it gives me great pleasure to now introduce Dr. Antonina Santalova, who is the director of our DBA program and the UBIS Research Institute. Dr. Santalova, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. It's absolutely fascinating. Every time we lead the session, what to expect about DBA, you know, we are all extremely excited and nervous, no matter how many times we have already done that before, simply because, as Vincent fairly said, that's a very important step you're going, you know, and it's a very important decision you're going to make. DBA does open new avenues, does open new doors for you. And that's why it's absolutely exciting for us to be on the side of helping you, supporting you, you know, at the start of this very important journey. Just a little bit about myself. Yes, I am Dr. Santalova, but I prefer when people call me Tony. So please do call me Tony. I got my PhD from the University of Oxford, and I'm based in Oxford, UK. And usually I say, hello, joining from Oxford, UK this time. It's quite extraordinary. I'm joining from Miami, Florida. And that's my first time in this pod. And that's the place where we had a strategic meeting with UBIS team. So that was absolutely fascinating. Trust me, you know, to meet my team mates in person. All of them are exciting people. So now I'm even more enthusiastic, you know, advertising and telling you, promoting my program, like, do join us. That's true. And to our partners as well. Dr. Banzal, thank you very much for joining us today. And I hope in the future as well, and your team as well. So yes, that's definitely, you know, bright and quite exciting journey ahead. I should say that because we are literally global, we are trying to unite the best practices together in our DBA program. And thus I can fairly say that we are trying to unite American as well as the British practices in DBA programs provision. That's why I would say that talking about the best practices, being flexible is one of our characteristics, as well as being global. We do listen to our students. So those of you who have already decided to join us or just plan to do so, be sure that you are not going to be a number. You're a very important person for us. You're going to be listened to. You're going to be, you know, your needs are going to be accommodated. And we do aim to have a very stable communication channel with each student of ours. So Raf usually says that that's so-called humane approach that we have. And that's, you know, and I mean, that's definitely what we do with UBIS and do with our students as well as faculty members. On today's call, I do not know who the faculty members are joining us, but I teach as well. Okay, yes, brilliant. Thank you very much. So that's the next slide. So here you can see just several faculty members who teach a DBA program. I'm very proud of each of them and grateful that they contribute, you know, to our work and to your progress. So for instance, Dr. Ken Goldsmith, I know that he must be teaching a class now. I doubt that he's joining the call. Mindy Hamilton, she joined recently as the provost of the university, as well as a faculty member. Dr. Stuart Curley, my wonderful colleague and friend from the UK, who graduated.
There is an error there on the flag, I was going to say.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm not looking at the flag. You know, I'm surrounded with American flags now. So yes, no, from my colleague from the UK, and he graduated. He got his PhD from Cambridge University. So we are usually rivals. Rivals in the sense that not really friends. You know, Oxford University and Cambridge University, but we break all stereotypes at UBIS generally. So that's why, Stuart Kelly is really a good friend of mine. Carol Summers is teaching at the moment as well. So I will tell you a bit more about the courses we have. And on the courses side of our DBA program, we provide 8 courses. And 5 of those courses are research-oriented, research-based. Those are the courses where you actually acquire skills, how to approach research, how to choose the most appropriate methodology for answering the questions you're posing and things like that, while the other 3, only 3, but extremely exciting, that's where you concentrate on the subjects, such subjects as trends in leadership, strategic management, sustainability, and responsibility. And those are the subjects that some of those wonderful people I have just listed, they teach. So at the second line, I don't think that we have time to go by person because there are many wonderful faces on this slide. But I'm sure that if you have any questions about my team, I will be happy to answer. But even with the mistake, you can see that there are different flags. So we do come from different countries. We do represent different cultures as well as different educational backgrounds. And I think that's the most fascinating part, that we contribute all this diversity to the DBA program at UBIS. Next slide. And yes, thank you very much. So that's the most exciting part. So that's when I'm under, spotlight. These are the students, our current DBA candidates, who I absolutely admire. I personally consider the best people ever, very good students as well. So I hope that they will provide you with the insiders information and insights about DBA program, as well as maybe answer your questions as well. So would we give the floor to our DBA candidates, Vincent?
Yeah, why don't we, I'll speak up here. Why don't we, well, let me actually start by introducing myself. I am Rafael Salazar, and I'm UBIS Chief Customer Officer. I'm also in the DBA program, in the Executive DBA. And it is a pleasure to be here today and join everybody. Let's go ahead and get started with our student introductions. So Oscar, why don't I start with you, if you don't mind?
Hello, everybody. Can everybody listen to me?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for starting with me. I have my colleagues and dear friends were also signed up to speak as well. But as Dr. Tony and Dr. Vincent said before, the UBIS family, it's a pleasure to be a part of it. I have the opportunity to study in other countries as well. I studied in Brazil. I had my 2 bachelors in law, international relations in Brazil, but I had postgrad as well here, but I did my master's in Spain, and I did also a postgrad in Spain. And all through my course history in the higher institutions, I have never been so well treated and well welcomed as in UBIS. So I'm not saying this to promote because I'm a student myself, but I do have to acknowledge that we do feel like as a family. So everybody that has been signed up already, congratulations. You guys made a beautiful choice. And the ones that are in this still thinking about it, you don't have nothing to think about. I had the opportunity before starting my PhD to work on some other institutions, and I hadn't, be regretting my decision. By the contrary, I have been pleased and grateful for the decision I made, and I know that you guys can have the same experience as we are having as well. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Oscar. We don't have Jennifer in the picture, but we had the great pleasure of her joining us. She's a very dear student of ours from Ghana. Jen, are you here too?
Hi, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
So sorry guys, I'm at work, so I'm trying to, do this in between. Yes, hi. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Jennifer, and this is my second year at UBIS, and I should say it's been an exciting journey. The diversity is good. For those who are worried about diversity, it is. I mean, you should see our classes. They look really diverse from all over the world. My background is in international trade and investment promotion. And so I work in Ghana and in the UK. And so this journey has been exciting because I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I'm a student and I work. So in case you're struggling to make a decision about joining in because you have so much to do, it's possible. Because at UBIS, like my colleague Oscar mentioned, they're really engaging. They really want to make sure. I mean, when you go to Dr. Tony's class, you better be attentive, because she would call you, she would engage, she would make sure you're listening. So, and every step of the way, they're calling you, checking on you, are you okay? And so it's been like this. It's never stopped. We actually have a good relationship between staff, faculty, and students. And again, for me, the other interesting thing would be networking, because you get to meet people from all over the world. And it's very critical because sometimes, I mean, we're in a global village now. And so you get recommendations from people, business opportunities here and there. So let's just not look at the academics, but also the business opportunities you could potentially get from joining the group. So yes, it's been an exciting journey. And we're still on it. So yeah, I hope you're able to make a good decision, but trust me, it's worth everything. It is worth everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. And last but not least, Mr. Vincent Shelter, who was there, he also couldn't join us as he's traveling to Strasbourg, France, to one of our conferences. So Vincent, why don't we, why don't you go next, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Sure. Good morning, good afternoon, part of the world. I'm Vincent to you from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you better now, yes.
Okay. Yes, I am coming from down here in the Caribbean, but living in the Virgin Islands. My UBIS experience, I've been here for a year now, and I must say, really go through the alphabet of UBIS, which is, for me, selection made a lot of sense. It was very affordable when I compared with the various programs across the United States, across Europe. That is important for me as a business person. The value proposition. I like the fact that it's very boutique. It's classified, it considers itself a boutique university, not too big, small, growing, and that allows you to have intimate relations and to have good rapport with and access, importantly, to faculty and other administrators who can make your work and your life much better. There's a very important program where the Research Institute offers you opportunities. There's what we call the colloquium, so the C of this program, where you have extra, besides the academic program strictly in class, you do get to listen to seminars and from very, very important persons in different areas. And the beauty of this, all of these things are recorded and you can look at them at your leisure online, because we record the classes and we record this program, so you can fit it in to your schedule as you go along. Diversity is important for us, and for me, I certainly like the fact that we have students from all over the world attending UBIS. You get to share and learn from each other, not just the academic aspect, but the cultural, you form relationships. And so the diversity aspect of the ABCD, I certainly highlight as very good. Entrepreneurial, if you guys get an opportunity to meet with the CEO of UBIS, she says she wants the university to move at the speed of business. And that is our experience. UBIS is not static. They get feedback from the students, and where there's need for improvement or for change, they adapt, and certainly they respond at the speed of business, because it is, of course, a business as well. Flexibility in terms of your assignments, in terms of balancing family and other things, you are able to work around that in cooperation with your faculty or your professors. So I believe the flexibility aspect worked for me as a mature student. I also have a family and I have other activities to do. So I find the flexibility of UBIS very good. And of course, G, finally, G is global, which speaks for itself, from all over the world. I want to plug in the Student Council, the Global Student Council, which is a new initiative where we're trying to kind of bring in again from all over the UBIS family, persons who can come and volunteer and join the effort to do things outside of the academic program. And the Student Council is a new initiative that has been proposed by UBIS. We had a first one that recently retired based on the term, but we're hoping to have a new Student Council launch very soon, and we invite folks to look out for that, because we'll be looking to recruit persons to volunteer to add their time and effort to develop this Student Council program for the global program going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. So if we can just go ahead and go back to the presentation. As I said, Shelter is doing one of our conferences in traveling to France right now, so he could not join us. So back to referral guy, Dr. Santalova.
Audio.
Try to go on. Yeah.
Right, yes, I'm saying I'm receiving text messages from our current students who we contacted to take part today, and they were late, and they said like, oh, can we join now? So we have more students willing to provide testimonials, not less wonderful as these ones. Guys, thank you very much. We really appreciate your hard work. You know that I have been teaching for 10 years at Oxford Uni, and all those top rank and stuff like that, I hardly have ever met that hardworking and that fascinating, and I mean extraordinary people. As Jen fairly says, you're all family members. I mean, family people. You're all professionals, top professionals and students, and you take care of your extended families and you contribute to your communities. So we are very, very proud of you. Oh, right, back. Also, I received the questions in our chat box, Raf. So I'm going I answered one, so I'm going to answer the second one while I'm
And
talking.
we will have a session for Q&A right at the end too.
Okay, Raf, great. Talking about resources, what our students are provided with. Anyhow, I just start with Rene's question about whether students are assisted in defining their topics. In the handbook, you will find out that actually the DBA program is made of two parts. And one part is the coursework, and the other part is actual working on your project, undertaking your research project with your personal research advisor. So that's ideally the format for the traditional way, for the traditional DBA, as we call that. However, we have been thinking hard, and we came up with two more designs for people who are extremely busy and they know for sure what topic they would like to research. So they have their topic statement formulated maybe a long time ago. And for these people, we actually offer an executive route of DBA. That means that you actually do not have this or do not have to take this coursework, but just to have full seminars where we concentrate on research methodology. So we provide very intense training on research, and those are full seminars, 21 hours each, over the weekends, you know, consecutive weekends, couple of weeks. And then between periods, you work with your advisor, your own research advisor. Also, we thought about the other group of our customers, which maybe have almost, they have completed the coursework at some other educational institute, but then dropped for family reasons, for some other reasons. And that's so-called all but dissertation, ABD. And then you can join UBIS, you can contact us in order to find out whether we can provide you with assistance just to complete the dissertation stage. Ambrish, I see your hand, but if you don't mind,
Yes.
I answer your question after that. So the information, more detailed and specific information about the courses, you know, you're going to take with traditional or seminars with executive routes, you will find in the dissertation handbook. That's kind of a very important, kind of a Bible, I was going to say, but maybe I shouldn't. A very important document that actually stipulates the steps, defines what you, helps you actually to structure your journey. It tells you what courses you have to take, which ones are prereq, or which ones are required to be taken first, then second, and how you progress to the second phase of the most exciting, I would say, and challenging as well, undertaking your regional research. So all this information can be found in this dissertation handbook or student handbook. Well, actually, we have student and dissertation. In dissertation handbook, you find more information about the second phase, working on the dissertation, going to the field, collecting data, analyzing data. So also you all know that the culmination of the DBA program is defense. So defense panel with the 3 professors on the panel, the whole process is actually described in the personalized student dissertation handbook. Online guidelines for Moodle. Yes, we are global and we are online, and that's why. Thank you. And that's being global and being online, that's exactly where we take our powers from, because providing this DBA program again online, and with all these sessions, as Vincent fairly mentioned, recorded for you. So if suddenly you can't, we're very proud of our live sessions, and my students know that although we are online and you may not attend those sessions but rather listen to the recordings, I rather insist that my DBA students, they do go to this live sessions, they do participate in the discussions, because at the end of the day, we all work on the development of the skill set. We are working on our personal development, right? So that's why, yes, you can listen after, but if you participate in these live sessions, that would be wonderful. And these live sessions, they happen on the Moodle platform. That is quite fascinating. That's your online university, your online classroom. So as soon as you get registered with UBIS, you get a password and access to the Moodle platform where all your classes would be listed. Apart from just the classes, as my students have mentioned, we have a number of other activities, such as Sunday colloquiums. So for this purpose, on the Moodle platform, you will find a shelf for Research Institute. And if you go inside there, you will find the links to the recorded sessions we have already had or just have had, as well as other helping materials, for personal development. So we are in the process of setting up a well-being Moodle shelf for our students, because it's autumn, and in some countries that's winter, in some countries it's this rain season, and so on and so forth. So we do worry about each student of ours that they feel top, that they feel 100% and fulfill 100% of their potential. So that's the Moodle shell we have. From the Moodle platform, you have access to the online library as well. Again, for the doctoral level students, it's absolutely essential to have access to the materials already published, because before you create your own new knowledge, before you fill in the gap in the existing body of knowledge in your field, it's absolutely essential that you learn about where and what this gap in knowledge is. So that's how, why, and that's how and why this online library is absolutely important, and you're going to have an access to it from day one, as soon as you get registered as a student with UBIS. Of course, the syllabi, yes, as well as in this online Moodle shell, you will find the syllabus of the course that you are taking. You will find the information about your professor. Of course, we all know how to Google, so we can go online and Google our professors. And there was a question from Renee about the credentials of our faculty members. Renee, we use all our connections, so you will have like Stuart Cooley from Cambridge and Oxford, myself from Oxford, all of us. I mean, my of course, USA colleagues, they all have American term terminal degrees or doctoral degrees. It's absolute requirement in order to get employment with UBIS. However, I'm going to talk about that a bit later, I guess, right, Raf, about the opportunities of teaching.
Yes.
Opportunities of teaching for our DBA students. So you want to tell me about this now, Raf?
No, this should be one of the slides. So if you, yeah, it should
Yeah,
be one of the next
I
slides
believe
coming up.
so. I believe so. Since we started to talk about faculty members, so talking about new avenues and new doors, which are definitely going to be open for you, right? And you, most of our students, even during the program, as soon as they inform their leadership that they're taking DBA program, you know, some of them they progress in their companies, in their teams, but many of them kind of informed me that they had some interest, or you know, kind of wondered whether that would be possible for them to teach, having obtained the DBA, the doctoral program, to teach at one of the higher educational establishments. So teaching is definitely an avenue that will be open for you with your doctoral program completed. And with my team members, we have been thinking hard, on one hand, how to differentiate our DBA program from other universities, but also how to assist our DBA candidates, you know, with this desire, with this wonderful wish, because I personally believe that teaching is one of the most noble professions in the world. So that's what we do as an additional kind of co-curriculum component. We provide seminars and trainings on pedagogy and teaching techniques. And apart from that, from time to time, we have vacancies at our master's level and bachelor level that you can apply, and you can teach our, you know, our students at those levels too. Ideally, if you are hardworking enough and you can describe your teaching experience as well as theoretical experience received, you know, those seminars, and maybe come up with a so-called minor dissertation, we are going to help you to apply for so-called postgraduate certificate. And that's another qualification that provides you with the opportunity to teach at a higher educational establishment. And I think that can be an absolutely wonderful kind of byproduct of the DBA program you're taking with us. Executive experience. So yes, we work with a lot of time zones, and yes, I'm just trying to summarize Raf, the slide, because at time I would like to have some time, you know, for a discussion. And
yeah, I feel you'll cover that. So if you want to go to the next slide.
I'm trying to check, right? So the other I think very important thing that differentiates us, and I hope Raf that you agree with me, that twice a year so these are, in this slide you see those colloquiums we have every I don't know, sometimes every Sunday, right, Vincent? Sometimes we might have a break, but now we introduce more seminars, not only those Sunday colloquiums where we have academics talking about their research, or, you know, people from the industries, and we had lawyers, and we had managers, and we had CEOs and founders, you know, of different startups, just name that, from so many different countries and in so many different industries. Actually, if you are interested, you can go online to YouTube, find UBIS YouTube channel, so you will find the recordings. You will find the recordings of those sessions with no editing, so don't be too strict, but yes, you can get quite interesting and useful information on a variety of topics there, and I promise that. Also, we introduced recently new seminars for personal development thing. I mentioned the welfare Moodle shell that we are establishing now, but literally last week, I believe we had a person who introduced us to the techniques of personal branding. Gianna from the United States. So I think that was a quite interesting session, and that wasn't just purely academic, but rather overall development, you know, how to be present online, you know, how to promote yourself, but in some elegant way, I would say. So apart from those, these are research activities, as we call them. And we also organize conferences, we organize symposiums. Like on next month, we are going to have a big one for our current students and those who have preliminary results already, because we have a cohort who collected data, and now they are all texting me. and emailing that they have preliminary results. So that would be fascinating to listen to them. Apart from them, you see, I'm very excited. I feel you with a lot of information, so forgive me that, but I hope that you have more questions that I could specify if you're interested in any specific detail. We also organize immersive experiences twice a year. The one that starts next week. So right from Miami, I go to Strasbourg, where we are going to have 8 days experience, going to companies, offices, headquarters, European Parliament, name it, learning about their best practices in management and leadership, also sharing our experience, because all evenings in Strasbourg at this wonderful chateau that you can see it in the left corner of this slide. That's where we are going to be accommodated, and that's where we're going to have these discussions about our own research and the topics of research interest for us. Previously this year in May, we had absolutely marvelous, to my mind, international conference we organized with our DBA, current DBA students in our campus in Geneva. And the picture from the top right corner, that's from there, that we had at the end of the seminar, a city tour. So yes, so life is boiling, I would say. We are very proud of our students who manage all, and we would be absolutely delighted if you decide to join us. I have already mentioned teaching opportunities to you, publishing. That's a great project for us, because ideally what we aim with each student of UBIS University, that you do not only submit your dissertation to the defense committee, but also submit the paper for publication. I tell you a big secret that it's easier to publish while you're a DBA candidate and maybe you find a faculty member or a peer to publish together and submit a paper maybe together or on your own. And it's definitely going to be a great achievement when you put it in your CV, in your resume, that it's not only the DBA that you managed to accomplish over these 3 years, but also publish the paper. And for these purposes, at the second phase, when you work with your personal research advisor, that's definitely what we concentrate on. That's where we go hand in hand looking for the peer-reviewed journals where you would be most likely, your paper would be most likely accepted and published. And we would celebrate together that you have not only passed with no corrections, hopefully, at your defense, but also a paper either accepted or published already.
Hey, student services and resources. So here at UBIS is all about support, about humanizing the experience, and about ensuring that you have a one-on-one attention that you deserve. And we tackle any issues, celebrate all your successes, and again, handhold you and work with you side by side to that graduation and finish line. So as part of our resources and student services, we have our student ambassadors and also our student council, as Vincent was mentioning. I know he's looking for new members of the student council, so everybody is welcome to apply. Educational events, as Dr. Tony mentioned, our immersive excursion experience, our Sunday colloquiums, seminars, guest speakers, in order to enhance the experience through your program. We have a top-notch student platform, which is Moodle. Our LMS is extremely user-friendly with plenty of resources and features and benefits for our students. We have an EBSCO Unlearn Library access with access of millions of books, publications, magazines, journals, case studies, available at any time, at any given day, at any point for you. And as we had mentioned before, the international presence with all our partners and our student body with students from all over the world, worldwide. Before you know it, crazy, time flies. We are already in October. The year is almost over. Graduation will be happening. Takes a lot to get there, but most importantly, inspiration, desire, dedication, determination, a positive attitude, participation, and no excuses. We don't like excuses at UBIS because you have a great support system here that will work side by side with you, again, to ensure that you can successfully complete this program and take your career or whatever purpose you have to the next level. On that note, before we talk about next steps, such as the application process for those that haven't applied, or anything that is necessary, we wanted to use this time to talk about questions and answers. So we have a big forum here today. I see some questions have been happening. So this is the right time right now. You have Dr. Santalova here. You have some of the members of the UBIS staff family, and you have some of our students. So by all means, so why don't we go ahead and start with the Q&A. You can raise your hand virtually, or you could also use the chat room. So on that note, let's go ahead and get started. I know we did have a question from Joanna Curry, who said, I'm interested in industrial psychology and I don't have an undergraduate degree in psychology. Do you recommend keeping this topic or selecting a topic related to my BA or MBA?
Thank you, Raf, and thank you, Jonna, for this question. I'm typing the answer and listening at the same time. I'm typing. You'd rather choose a topic that you feel passionate about, and that's relevant to all doctoral students, because if you don't feel this passion, if you're not really concerned with the problem, the empirical problem you have in mind to research, right? It's going to be a difficult program for you. While if you feel this passion, if you're really concerned with it, then the whole journey wouldn't be an extra load. That would be, an exciting thing of helping the world to find out, how these or that problem can be actually solved. You see the difference, right? We all know the saying, if you don't like to work, make the work your hobby. So if it is your hobby, then the work is not that tiring anymore. So that the same, I would say the same with the DBA program. So it's quite important, Jonna, for us, if you feel psychology is something that you would like research industrial one, right? Let's look at your documents, and our specialists and admission team, they would be happy to assist you and advise on that. But passion does matter. So keep strong. Yes. Dr. Banzal, go ahead.
And you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Okay, there I go. This question is on behalf of most of our students. I think they have done their MBA, and during the MBA program, they have done the research methods. So I think you mentioned you have 3 modules on research methods in the program. So I'm sure all these students would be asking you, but will they get some sort of RPL on those 3 modules or something? I think this is a question which most of my students would have.
Right, Dr. Bantal, thank you very much. Well, actually, we have 5 courses on research methodology and 3 on different subjects. Yes, there is an opportunity to have several credits transferred. But trust me, and you know as well as I do, that you can study research methodologies pretty much forever. Actually, there is a field that you can just develop, new methods and new approaches in research. So we promise that your students are not going to be bored at our research methodology classes. That's what I can promise for sure. And of course, we shouldn't forget the doctoral level, it's much above the master's, and the depths of knowledge we ask you to demonstrate when students approach methodology design, when they approach, the formulation of questions, that's much higher level. So I believe that those classes are going to be absolutely useful.
And and if I can jump in also, Dr. Tony, one of my recommendations, Dr. Ambridge too, is, and this is for any student, obviously part of our for your requirements is to complete your entire admissions package, that it has your motivation letter, your CV, your transcripts, your diploma, passport. I mean, and this is something that we can briefly cover, but we look at the overall scenario and the overall package of the student when the student goes into the academics and admissions committee. So a lot of situations are done case by case, depending on work experience, where the student is, transcripts, etc. So my big recommendation is to always submit. Once you submit your package, we have your one-on-one interview, and then go.
Right.
All right, I do see. All right. Can we send you transcripts in paper format to mailing address? So, I mean, I guess you could. Interesting question, Renee. I mean, I would normally suggest just if you have them because we don't require the official transcripts yet. So if you could either like snap a photo or scan it. It is in the best way possible, just to have everything electronically. That way we can organize your admissions package.
Ref, there is one more question from El Obur, and the question is about whether our resources are related and beneficial for human resources interested in person. And I should say yes, no, absolutely. I was going to say we're all humans, so that's why those are 3 courses, the subject-based, where we talk about leadership and management and sustainability, definitely cover the aspects of human resource management as well. And also, the thing is that the research-oriented or research methodology-oriented courses are designed in the way that with your assignments, you are tasked to choose to find, upload, read, comment, provide the reviews on the papers in your area of research. So then if you're interested in HR, then you definitely go online to our online library and you upload the papers in this specific area and from the journals that you would be recommended to look at. So yeah, definitely. I mean, during the coursework, because it is the doctoral level, you already concentrate on this on the subject matter that interests you, and that is going to be your research interest, your research project.
Thank you, Dr. Tony, for answering that. I am trying to see. I'm not seeing any other hands. Don't see anything else on the chat. So let's go ahead and talk. I know it's Friday, so let's go ahead, and we're covering a lot of information. So let's go ahead and talk about next steps and admissions requirements. So it is important to submit and complete your application. We will meet one-on-one for those that perhaps don't know exactly what you need to submit. We can go ahead and provide that to you. But once if you have been accepted into our program, we will ask you to complete your final admissions requirements to receive your UBIS credentials. That is your UBIS email address and credentials for our LMS in order to be able to access the courses, library, pretty much anything related to UBIS. Also to receive a final acceptance letter, your course mapping, which will indicate your schedule from the beginning to the end of the program. And most importantly, your student ID. On that note, welcome to UBIS. It has been a pleasure having you today. For those students that are asking questions about curriculum, just to answer that real briefly, what we could do is send you our brochure where you can see a list of class by class when it comes to class descriptions and everything. Everything is included in there. The program is extremely complete, so we will make sure we have that. So on that note, Thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here. It has been more than a pleasure to have you part of this session today. We look forward to having any follow-up meetings. Dr. Ambridge, for your students in your team, we will ensure that we can have either a separate session or a one-on-one to ensure we answer all your questions. Any other student that have attended, you have a wonderful global admissions team here that will work tirelessly to ensure your questions get answered and to help you throughout this process. So we will ensure we answer all your questions and we have any one-on-one opportunities here for you to ensure that you get as much personalized attention as we can. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Santalova. Thank you to our students.
Before you go, I think you're missing one question.
It's a few
from
questions.
Tosin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you're missing
see.
one or two questions. One is
Yes.
from Tosin.
Yes, Dr. Banzal, I see that we missed several questions, and yes, I agree with Raf, Tosin and the iPhone. Please do contact our marvelous admission team members, and you can have an individual session with me, okay? I'm happy to meet students, and my current students know that at the enrollment stage, I meet candidates and I answer their specific questions, and I would be absolutely happy to do that. So please do keep in touch and do let our admissions team know that you want to have a meeting, and I would be absolutely delighted to meet you.
All right. Well, thank you, thank you again, everybody. We're just right at the 10 a.m. Eastern time mark. So again, happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe, and thank you again.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.